Hello, my name is Juan, and this is my duck. Well, uh, in the last video, I was talking about good duck speak, but it turns out that there are a lot of references with duck speak. Well, that is because that word has been around long enough for many people to use it. So perhaps a name change is necessary. I am thinking about that. In the meantime, it is this little guy and me. I used to have dogs as pets, and this is how I petted them. No, they like this. Um, Let me know if you want to know more about this little guy. So, on the last video, I was talking about human resources, my adventure with Tiffany, and how Tiffany relied exclusively on artificial intelligence for her work instead of doing it herself. It is bad that you give all the tasks to a machine and in order to avoid doing your job. But that is the case, especially with artificial intelligence and human resources. And on that same topic, I just received a report from a company about human resources, artificial intelligence, and recruitment. And to me, to make a long story short, and to avoid boring you with details, um, I will say a thing or two about that report. And before proceeding, remember that no individual references are made here, and every single opinion is personal. So please take that in mind, or bear that in mind. So this report highlighted the importance of artificial intelligence in helping with the tasks, yet at the same time complained that 50% of employees are looking for another job while they are working. So it turns out that they get the job and they are looking for yet another job because they feel they're not treated well enough. They feel they think their feelings are not taken into account. They think they are too important for the position they have. So why am I a simple assistant or clerk when I could be a manager because I deserve to be a manager? Things of that nature. And then the report marveled, or was the report noted surprise at the fact that different people have different priorities, and it turns out that a priority can be feelings. Another priority can be having a steady source of income, having the privilege to enjoy a better Monday, to look forward to this to the coming work week. So the report wondered why people thought about quitting jobs and finding something else instead of focusing on work and uh, and the week ahead. Well, the answer is simple. It is because those who select people for work positions are not doing their job. There are those who believe that artificial intelligence and automations and tools of that nature do their job for them. So they let the tools do the job and they do nothing. So they become a figure like the bouncer on a disco or a bar. That is an experience that we are all familiar with. Well, you go to a bar, you face the bouncer, and the bouncer lets you in or does not let you in because of the way you look. You can be a good customer, you can be ready to spend money, to have a good time in the bar. Yet there's something in your appearance, maybe your pants, maybe your haircut, that the bouncer doesn't like, and the bouncer automatically says, "You're not allowed. Get out." So right after you, there is another guy that has all the looks, but he's but that guy is a troublemaker. That guy cannot hold his liquor well, cannot hold a conversation without getting into a violent argument, and so on. So the bouncer thinks, "Oh, this guy is good looking. You're in." But it turns out that the bar needs needs customers that pay, and customers that have a good time, and customers that do not make trouble. Yet the bouncer, focused only on looks, lets in the wrong people. The same thing happens with human resources. They are the bouncer that focuses on appearance, and they are the bouncer that lets something else do their job. So why why should I do anything? Why should I conduct an interview or review an application when an IE can search for specific words and get the guy in? And next, the next thing you know is that 50% of the people you hire are looking for another job. 50% of the good-looking people you let into the bar are looking for trouble and causing altercation and failing to pay their bills, while the people that does not look as good for the bouncer is doing something else, or staying at home, or spending their money on anything but the bar. Yet the bouncer complains that, well, 50% of the people I let into the bar are troublemakers. What the bouncer should say is, I focus only on appearances. I'm not doing my job. I am letting the wrong people in. But that is beyond the imagination of the bouncer. And it turns out that for some people, actually looking, reading applications, and conducting interviews and asking questions and looking for reactions and noting how people react to questions and answer to exercises or problems. That is their job. A proper human resources professional must ask the the questions, the necessary questions, regardless of how complicated they can be. Watch for the reaction and let the instincts tell, oh, there is potential here. There is there is nothing, or there is nothing here. But that involves working. That involves effort. But sadly, they it seems it is not the case with them nowadays. But it helps to write pretty reports complaining about the employees who are looking for something else. It is nice to write reports about unhappy employees and trends of unhappiness and so on. And in that context, being lazy, letting someone else someone else or something else do the job helps. I wish, and in the and on top of that, get paid for it. I wish I could have a job like that, doing nothing, letting something or someone else do my job, and get money for it. Where do I sign for such a position? So human resources people should stop complaining, should stop writing silly reports, and do their job like everyone else. There's this belief that they are human resources, that they are above everything. Yet they are employees. They are hired and terminated like everyone else. They collect their benefits and their salary like everyone else. The detail is they can they can do the absolute minimum or do nothing and get away with it and still get paid. That's the problem. And that's a problem that needs to be solved. Otherwise, we will keep getting reports about 50 or 60 or whatever percent of employees looking for another job while they're working because they were not supposed to be working in the first place. A human resources professional should have screened them out and let and let the right people in. But since we have bouncers and no human resources professionals, there are the results. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you are still here, thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your interest in watching and in listening to this. Take care.